Eye trackers have become increasingly popular in the last few years, especially as the center of funny YouTube reaction videos, but for a while now, they've actually been one of the best kept secrets in the esports scene. With more and more esports pros turning to eye tracking as a way to improve their own gameplay, we wanted to break down exactly how an eye tracker and its software work, and how it can help both professional and casual players increase their skill level. Tobii was kind enough to send us their new 4C eye tracker to test out, so let's take a look at exactly what it can do, and if it can help you improve your gameplay. To start out, let's talk real briefly about how eye trackers actually work. There are very complicated algorithms involved, but to break it down in its simplest terms, the Tobii 4C emits an infrared light that your eyes can't detect, but creates a pattern on the iris of your eyes. A very high-resolution camera follows this infrared pattern and uses it to determine the location of your pupils to basically triangulate the location of your gaze on the screen. That's the TLDR version of eye tracking, just so you have an idea of how it works when we start talking about how it's being used. So now we know the basics, let's talk about the benefits and why the pros have been using them. Pros have been using eye trackers for years to improve performance in a number of ways. First off, in a game where players are all mechanically gifted and have excellent reflexes, looking in the right direction can give your reflexes the edge they need to beat another player with equally fast or faster reflexes. For example, if you get killed by an opponent and it feels like you saw each other at the same time, you might just assume that he had better reflexes or aim. But with eye tracking, pros can find out where they were looking when the engagement happened and see if perhaps they just had their vision trained on the wrong part of the screen, like a far corner or a heads-up display or something, which helps them learn the area that are unsafe to check: health, teammates' positions, or other parts of the user interface that can have them fractionally behind an opponent who is focused directly on the center of the screen. It also lets pros know if they are checking their ammo or other UI features too much, leaving them vulnerable to enemy engagements. For scrims against teammates or other players using eye tracking, studying the visual habits of the most successful characters and comparing it to your own can help you train your in-game vision to be more precise and more focused to hopefully achieve similar results. At the very least, it teaches you good habits for avoiding the micro distractions that can get you killed when every other player is around the same skill level as you are. So that's all great for pro players, but what about us casuals? The good news is, if anything, the eye tracking technology can help us even more. Casual players tend to have much worse habits than pros. Checking their ammo levels constantly or always glancing away at the minimap, it leads to a lot of deaths and bad KDRs. But with eye tracking software, we can actually train ourselves to break away from these habits and keep focus on the areas of the screen we actually need to be focused on. And since these habits tend to be far worse in casual players, seeing them outlined for you by the eye tracking software and then using it to get in more practice to break those habits should produce even greater relative results than in pros, who are basically just looking to make those minor tweaks at extremely high levels of play. And something that's extremely cool about certain eye trackers like the Tobii 4C is how it can actually let you aim without a mouse. With certain supported games, it can basically set your aim to wherever you're looking, so the target reticle follows your eyes. So if you have physical limitations that hurt your coordination, suddenly you could actually play these games without being at a huge disadvantage. It basically takes the hand out of hand-eye coordination, and for disabled or physically limited players, we just kind of think that that's pretty amazing. And that's our breakdown of eye tracking software and how it can improve the gameplay of both pro and casual players. Let us know if you've ever tried eye tracking in the comments below, and as always, another video is on the way.